Get the Wendy's $3 breakfast deal and 3.
Now, back over the 3, 9 miles an hour. You see the current on Bellflower is going to be PD handle. I'm going to be 98. Somebody's going to follow over the counter.
83651 Mary, the CC happened on Bellflower, going to be PD handle. You're going to go to 98. Party will follow over the counter. Thank you, sir.
We'll be taking secondary. 90 miles an hour in the 2, passing Pasadena.
Just south of State Street, seems to be committed to the 5. The pursuit is on the blue frequency. Pound 5, just south of Lorena. Eighty-three 602 Graves, switching to the blues, 10-8. On the blue.
Curd, want to go eastbound 91, just east of Gibson. The silver Ford Mustang, unknown plate, swerving in and out of lanes near Miss TC's Santa Ana Clear at 2144.
Lakewood at 90, and it looks like Springs is possibly in it.
Air 5-1, we're going to be overhead. We'll go up and take over the call. We're going to be southbound, 90 miles an hour, coming up to the 605 freeway.
90 miles per hour, approach to 6 from here, 15 minutes.
Cross the lane, 85 light traffic.
Have a good day.
has been driving in and out of lanes for a while, but we haven't seen really an imminent danger to people. Got really close maybe to a couple of cars, but still, and maybe that's too because we don't have as heavy traffic as we have seen.
He just wants to get away,
spare.
right?
Now he's Anaheim, okay, Anaheim, Santa Ana, and Garden Grove, so that certainly would be Orange County.
That's right.
And we know our Orange County law enforcement to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to these kind of things, when it comes to pursuits.
Desmond, do you see any more officers joining the pursuit at this time, or are we pretty much in the same spot we were a few minutes ago?
Well, we're going to see a handoff right now from LA County to Orange County once they all get into pursuit. We just saw another one getting on the roadway right now, so we should see that happen any minute. We are into Orange County now, making our way. We're almost down at the 91, and if this person's going to stick with the 5, it'll be kind of annoying for us. We'll have to do a little bit of coordinating going around the protected Disneyland airspace, so hopefully we'll be able to continue to bring you a pretty good shot as we go over the top of that. But, you know, we're talking now from Oxnard out the 126 to Santa Clarita and then south, you know, well over 100 miles worth of distance now. I think it's about, 40 miles just from Oxnard to Santa Clarita as it is. And now you see that is, I believe, Orange County that is in the back now with their white cruiser there. So they're now
right behind.
So they've now officially taken over. But yeah, so you've got to wonder how much gas is in this tank. My car buddies, who's always so good about texting me about this, inform me that these trucks are equipped with V6s, so more power, but that means more gas consumption. So, you're probably talking about fuel economy in the 15 to 18 gallon range, something like that. Maybe even less since we're going up about 90 miles an hour. So, if this person only had a half tank of gas, it's going to be very close if they are just going to, as far as, I keep just thinking, are they headed to Mexico? It's just the thing I'm thinking about because we've just been on the same freeway. That's where this freeway goes. We've already traveled so much distance. This person not making any indication that they want to get off the freeway. So that's my working hypothesis for the moment, and it just all kind of depends on how much gas is in this person's tank and what CHP wants to do to stop that, to prevent that.
Well, you gave us a number of scenarios.
Okay, Des, thank you so much.
Desmond, we're going to turn it over now to Susie Sa and Jeff Bond for KCAL9 News at 10.
Yeah, Des, we're going to make that transition. This is Jeff Vaughn here on KCAL9 coming up at 10 o'clock alongside Susie Sa. Desmond Shaw is overhead in Sky 9 at the latest police pursuit of a stolen vehicle, also involved in a hit and run. This was out of Oxnard originally. I understand the hit and run happened in Fillmore, and that's when they discovered it was also stolen. Oxnard PD initiating this pursuit. Ventura County Sheriff's Department was involved at one point in time. CHP is now involved and is the lead agency, is my understanding, as we are on I-5 in the carpool lane going about 89, 90 miles an hour. And that is a stolen truck that was also involved in the hit and run. The center part of your screen there. It has the camper shell on it as well, Des. He's going not too fast, 90, but I don't see much traffic. I guess he's able to go a little faster if he wanted to.
Yeah, definitely could. I mean, if this person wanted to, and they were going faster when we heard about this pursuit on the 126. So, it was actually on a highway, not a freeway, and the speeds had been higher at that point. But it's almost like this person has it in cruise control around, 85 miles an hour. So that's about the speed between 85, 95. That's what we've been seeing this at. Orange County freeways, I don't think there's going to be any issue for this person as far as traffic goes. I'm looking up ahead. These Orange County roadways are very wide this time of the evening as well. They're pretty empty, so that's not a factor for this person. We're hearing that Orange County CHP, they might be planning a little something up ahead. We know that they can tend to be more aggressive than their LA counterparts, so we'll see if what they have laid out ahead is able to slow this person down. We'll be on the lookout for that. Don't want to tip their hand too much, but if you are, if you've been watching pursuits for a while, you probably know what I'm talking about, what they're planning on trying to do here up ahead. So we'll watch for that. But southbound 5, we believe there's just one person in this vehicle stolen, hit and run. So the charge is really piling up for this person as they've just mainly been sticking to the left side of the roadway. You can add carpool violation to that as well. But Orange County CHP, it looks like they are going to stick with this one. And it doesn't look to me like authorities are going to let this one go, Jeff and Susie.
Yeah, you know, in the 9 o'clock hour, Desmond, when we first picked this up, we were talking about being on the 126 and this going through not only that dangerous area, but also involved in a hit and run. Before we even knew that this was actually a stolen truck, we wondered why this person was running, because the accident, there was no one injured in that accident. It was a non-injury accident that they were involved in. And then we wondered what they had in this truck or what they're actually running from, Desmond, right?
Yeah, we were wondering, okay, and look, now we're getting off the freeway here. I don't know if this person wasn't paying attention or carpool lane there that goes by Disneyland that has its own exit. And it just seemed like they were sticking to the carpool lane and maybe not paying attention. And now we are on surface streets for the first time. Yeah. And you're right, Susie. That's when, you know, we had learned that this was also a stolen vehicle. Now look at this. Now we're on surface streets and we're at about 75 miles an hour. It's like the guy didn't take it out of cruise control here. You know, fortunately, the streets are pretty empty right now. There's quite a lot of asphalt for this person to go around. But 63 miles an hour blowing through that red light. He's going in. Whoa! Wow. We got some sparks there, and now we're in the Angels. We're in the Angels Stadium parking lot. Wow. How random is this? Blacked out. Well, he's got the lights are back on here, but the stadium, the parking lot, totally dark right now. He's behind a bunch of trees. He's about to pop back out. But what is this person doing? Maybe this was their plan. Maybe they're going to go in the parking lot and try to ditch the authorities here. But this is just taken a very, very bizarre turn, Jeff.
What are the units doing right now, Desmond? Can you show us?
Yeah, let me. They're here. They're definitely here with this person. Now we're circling around.
I would
right
think this
around
would
the
be a
parking
good
lot.
way. Just to be a good place to corral this suspect driver here, Des. I would think that
no other cars around.
Right. I would think this would be a good place to do a pit and do what they needed to do. And obviously, it's a safe area where there's no the public isn't involved and whatnot.
Looks like he's just going in circles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of terrain where they would practice. Oh, going through a little gate right there. I was just going to say this is kind of the where they might practice doing pit maneuvers or something. So it certainly seemed like it would have been perfect, but the suspect may have also just been able to pull out of it if they did it there. So going right through another gate. So in and out of the parking lot, very strange. Back over that dip, more spikes as now we're coming out of the parking lot. You wish that CHP could have corralled them there, but now we're back on surface streets and headed back to the 5 freeway. But what a bizarre little detour that was.
I was actually surprised that the Angel Stadium was open at that point in time.
No kidding.
You know, the gates to get in, it seemed they were wide open. He was able to get into the parking lot there. I know there was some events there earlier today. We actually had it earlier on some of our newscasts. There was an event there at Angel Stadium, so maybe they were doing a little bit of tearing down of that, and that's the reason why it was open. But you see he was able to get in and out, and certainly this pickup truck here, the driver, not only wanted for hit and run in Fillmore, but for a stolen vehicle.
That's right, and this is the first time we're seeing this driver actually on surface streets. We were watching this person on the freeway this entire time, as Jeff was just talking about, alluding to, that this started in Ventura County, actually in the city of Fillmore, and made its way all the 5 and into Orange County, where we are right now in the city of Anaheim. And I imagine the authorities are in touch with the Anaheim Police Department. I'm sure they are wondering if they're going to get involved here anytime soon, right, Desmond?
Yeah, we'll see. I think CHP may want to take this. It just always kind of depends on what kind of mood they're in, to be honest. Sometimes CHP will say, it's on surface streets, we're going to stick with it. Other times they say it's on surface streets, we want you to take it. But they seem very determined since getting the handoff from Ventura County sheriff's deputies that they want, this person in handcuffs. And now we're going back towards Angel Stadium. I was wondering if this person just zoned out and accidentally got off of that ramp and then just kind of blindly went into the stadium parking lot. But now I'm kind of thinking, were they trying to ditch the vehicle? It is very dark there. It's a huge plot of land. Depending on where the person wants to go, there's probably lots of areas to hide in there. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. But now we're right back at Angel Stadium and making a U-turn again. So perhaps not. Yeah, boy, who knows what's going through this suspect's head. We'll try to take this opportunity to look through the driver's side. Unfortunately, can't see too many details in there.
Yeah, not showing very good driving skills. And at this point in time, you got to imagine that maybe he's just stuck in a position where he's just kind of ad-libbing this and just going around and around and around in circles, which is what he's been doing for the last 5 or 10 minutes or so as we got off of the highway. And I think he's just trying to figure things out when he's got several cruisers behind him. At one point in time, Ventura County Sheriff's Department was behind him, also Oxnard PD. They were the initial agency that took this call of a hit and run, and then CHP now behind him. And he's starting to stretch out a little bit here. Where is he now, Des?
Yeah, well, there goes my Mexico hypothesis, because I believe we're headed back northbound here on the 5. Yeah, we are northbound back on the 5. So as we get away from Disneyland and headed back towards the Ventura, or rather the LA County area, I should say, but we're hearing that they might actually be losing one of their tires. And I'm just wondering if, doing all those U-turns kind of high speed and then going over those dips and the sparks coming out, if that did some additional damage to the vehicle, you might be able to see it flapping there. It looks like the left front tire there, Jeff and Susie.
Yeah, that's right. You can see the flapping on your screen there. We're looking at it a bigger screen here in the studio, but you can definitely see something on the left side of your screen. We believe that is the tire that is flapping around. That's certainly going to slow this person down, as they've been going very fast on the freeway, not at speeds that we have seen, not at those high rate of speeds. Well, we're talking 150 miles per hour, where agencies will go into tracking mode because the person is driving too fast for them to even keep up with, and they don't want to put the public in danger by putting the pressure on the person from behind by doing so. But still, they're still getting away right now.
Yeah, I think it might be a little body damage as well to the front quarter panel there on that truck, because he had a couple good impacts on the apex of those turns, as well as he hit the crest of that intersection pretty hard, and it was sparking up.
That's right.
So I just wonder if he's had some damage done at the front end. It looks like it. But Des, there it goes. I was just going to say the headlights keep kind of coming on and off for some reason. I don't know why he's doing that, but there is a glow inside of the vehicle that I see as well. You think he's on a cell phone? I guess so.
Very weird. With the lights on, the lights off, there's been no rhyme or reason to it. So now that we're on the side of the vehicle, we can see it is actually the bumper. I think that's what, CHP, they were calling out that they saw tire damage, but all indications are here that it's the bumper that is suffering here. And that is actually, there had been some damage, some minor damage from the hit and run to this vehicle as well. But you saw, how quickly they slammed the truck down. They were going over those bumps, very fast there, right in front of Angel Stadium. And so this truck's suffering now a little bit. But now that we're back on the 5 and headed back towards LA County, it's really anyone's guess what this person's doing. Maybe they're going to head back to Oxnard and just give up. Maybe they just, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to drag this out before the inevitable. We'll see how this one plays out. CHP is talking about maybe spike strips again at some point. They were hoping to do it earlier, what I was referencing earlier, but I think it was ahead of where the person exited the freeway, so they never got to institute that plan. But they are talking about it again at some point. So we'll see if that'll work. But, that's tough, because CHP is going to have to either be in the left hand, in the center divider out there with the spikes, or on the right-hand shoulder with the spikes. And if this person's just in the middle of the roadway, then that's not going to help CHP bring this to an end.
Yeah, and as we always wonder during these pursuits, especially when they go for so long, is when is this person going to run out of gas? I mean, did they have a full tank when they first started up in Ventura County when we first picked this up? Or, was it a half tank and they went all the way clear down to Anaheim, where the 57 and 5 freeways meet? And, I mean, that's quite the distance from Ventura County. So, that could be another scenario in all of this, which would probably be the best case scenario, if they just run out of gas and just pull it over and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm going to see if we can get our producers to put up an inset box so we can show you when they entered Angel Stadium in Anaheim. It was interesting how he was able to get right in through those gates at a pretty high rate of speed into the parking lot, and just kind of was a circus sideshow going around in circles with the cruisers in tow as it goes right in between two cars here. There it is on the right-hand part of your screen. Once again, hitting kind of the crest of that intersection in and out of Angel Stadium in Anaheim. Probably doing a little bit of damage to the front end. Probably is the damage that we see now. He's got his headlights off for some reason. But I was really surprised how he was able to go through the real tight, the gates the parking attendants are at Angel Stadium. at highway speeds, and that they
I
weren't
thought he was
closed.
going to knock something down.
Right, and that, you know how close those things are.
Sure.
But he did it at full speed, and there were no chains across it. They weren't closed or anything like that. And he got lucky in that regard, and we're back on the highway.
Yeah, and the ground units were right behind him when all of that was happening. We thought maybe in that parking lot they may try a pit maneuver because obviously there's no other cars or people around, which might be an ideal location, but they clearly know what they're doing, obviously. You know, we're not the experts, they are. And, you know, as we've been watching this chase for a good about 45 minutes now, I believe, live here on KCAL 9 News at 10 now. We picked this up during the 9 o'clock hour. If you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News at 10, this is breaking news. A pursuit of a stolen truck that was involved in a hit and run in Ventura County. And in that accident, there were no injuries. At first, we didn't know this was a stolen truck, and we thought that it was just the person who had run away from a hit and run. We wondered why they would be running if there were no injuries. But as we have learned, this is actually a stolen truck, and maybe something else that they're running from.
Yeah, and you just wonder when it comes to the state of the driver, for some reason, this late in the chase is now turning on and off the headlights. That's strange behavior. Obviously, trying to get through that whole parking lot, and it went through one of the barriers, shows the desperation of this driver. And you've got a number of police units behind him at this point in time, going all the way from the HOV lanes now to the right part of the highway there. This is going to be northbound 5. We came southbound 5 just within the last half hour. Now we're going right straight back north on the 5 freeways. He's hitting 103 miles per hour. So, Des, what's the latest?
Yeah, it looks like speeds have picked up maybe a little bit, Jeff. Maybe this person got a little bit spooked by their Angel Stadium detour. And we are starting to see those speeds back up at 100. You look at this up to about 110 now. That's the fastest we've seen by far. We've been between 80 and 90 for the most part, and now getting to just about triple digits and with the lights off as well. So it just makes it that much more dangerous for folks out here. We're starting to see them kind of, you know, go between lanes as well, not just hugging it all the way to the left like they were earlier. So the characteristics have kind of changed on this one. You see the lack of a spotlight. That is because CHP's fixed wing is the only one overhead. They do not have a spotlight, a night sun as they call it. They do have infrared though, but they, you know, are kind of at a disadvantage as far as what they can do because they can't turn on, you know, the turn of a dime the way that the helicopter can, and they have to be up at higher altitudes than helicopters as well. So it's kind of a disadvantage from the air. They do still at least have those eyes from the air. But as we head back up into L.A., this is now L.A. County CHP that is back in control of this pursuit. Obviously, Orange County handed it back off. So very weird, just kind of looping back around, headed back to what we're basically just covering all of the same ground that we covered earlier, just in the opposite direction here on the northbound side of the 5.
You know, it's bad to see this because we've seen this before. When you get up to 103 miles an hour, especially at night,
Thank you.
You can't really gauge the distance with the vehicles in front of you. How many times have we seen a situation like this and somebody rear ends a car or a truck in front of them and causes a lot more damage? That's kind of the situation we're in right now.
Yeah, no kidding. And, you know, Desmond was talking about all the different agencies that have been involved. It's because this person has covered so much ground. I mean, we started in Ventura County, went all the way down to Orange County, through LA County, obviously, and multiple agencies involved, as we were talking about the CHP, not only on the ground, but also with their fixed wing, I believe, in the sky as well, that comes out of Fullerton. And, you know, we're talking about multiple agencies that I'm sure were on alert at some point during this whole thing as they stopped in the city of Anaheim, as you're seeing on the right side of your screen, when they were driving at high rates of speed there at residential areas, and made a quick stop by Anaheim's, or Angel Stadium, I should say, near the 57 and the 5 freeway, and just went through the parking lot, did some circles, and then came right back out. We thought they were heading back in that direction, but then got right back onto the freeway, as Desmond was talking about, back to the area where we were following this person going south, and now we're going northbound.
You know, it's really sad that we aren't able to get a night sun from a helicopter overhead because, Des, you know that does alert drivers, and that's an extra safety feature. And you can see what the CHP is trying to do here by putting its spotlight on this driver to alert all the other drivers out there that this is going on. And it's just too bad that we don't have the night sun overhead to alert the drivers because he is going 114 miles an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. We may see, you know, LA County Sheriff's deputies come in or something like that, or as we get back into LA, LAPD, I would have to imagine that we'll see a spotlight from one of the agencies here relatively soon. But that's exactly what they're trying to do with that spotlight, doing that, trying to alert other people, because this person is just flying up right behind everyone with no headlights on. And, you know, these freeways are not that well illuminated, and so you just go to make a lane change, you even look over your shoulder, and then you go to make it again. And then there you go, you just collided with this person who's flying up right behind you. You saw right there was that vehicle parked on the right hand shoulder as well. Kind of dangerous, you know, you have this person flying by this quickly, but CHP right there behind him. And was thinking, you know, we might have seen some spike strips or something around this area, but I just don't know that it's going to happen while this person is going this fast and kind of just going between whatever lanes they want.
Well, you know, and all it takes is for somebody to see the red and blue flashing lights in the rearview mirror, and they will try to then get out of the way, and then they could get in between these two cars or in front of this, you know, this vehicle, this driver who is, you know, driving at 100 miles an hour. There's all kinds of danger here on this highway. I guess the only thing that's good about this, Susie, is it is a highway. Everybody's going in the same direction. Yeah. There are no main intersections that he can, you know, run through and T-bone somebody. Yeah. So I guess we have that going for us.
Yeah, that was really scary when he was in Anaheim looking.
Oh, he really put on the brakes.
Really close to traffic right there. Oh boy, is it slowing down in front, Desmond? Up ahead?
Yeah, it looks like there was just a, you know, a big rig right. Okay, so it looked like it might have been that CHP unit right there who may have been slowing traffic down. Or just getting ready to get in the pursuit, and then all the traffic slowed around them, and you saw, you know, a couple of big rigs, and that's all it takes to create a little pocket of traffic. So that was really dangerous for this person and the person right in front. I mean, they nearly rear-ended them at 50 or 60 miles an hour. So, you know, even though we are on the highway, definitely some danger to this one. And, you know, when we were on surface streets, as brief as it was, we saw this person was not afraid to blow through red lights. You saw how quickly they took those dips into the Angel Stadium parking lot. So it does, you know, it is stressful to think if this person does get off of surface streets, you know, onto surface streets, I should say, that, you know, the danger is going to go through the roof.
It's really great to see CHP doing what they're doing with the safety of drivers and the public in mind. You see Susie there, they're using the spotlight absent of that night sun overhead to alert all the drivers. And then you were able to see them actually slow some of the traffic down and alert those drivers that this was coming up behind them. And you could see that that's kind of slowed the traffic down just a little bit. Now, the driver's still going almost 100 miles an hour, but it's good to see that CHP is using all their skills that they have, not only in this pursuit, but to also help out the public as well.
Yeah, no kidding. We want to take you through some highlights from the pursuit from earlier before they jumped right back onto the 5 freeway. You know, they got off in Anaheim on surface streets for the first time. We saw that, actually. We're going to show that to you in just a minute. But when they got off the freeway, they actually went into, they got onto surface streets. They were going really fast. And then they somehow ended up at Anaheim or Angel Stadium, right in the parking lot there. You're going to see them go right through the gates here, blow through the gates. And this is when they're actually exiting and coming out, and you could see the sparks flying from the car. We believe that was the damage that was caused to the front bumper at that point, and that's what we're seeing flapping around. If you see something, we thought it was maybe a tire, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But boy, the CHP is not giving up this one. They really want to get this person.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting that was the dip in the road, and when you go at a speed as fast as this driver was going, you bottom out the vehicle, which he did twice, probably going about 50, 60 miles an hour right over the crest of that intersection, and that's the damage that you see. He's got his headlights back on as he's tamed down just a little bit to about 75, 80 miles an hour. So he's still getting really close to cars. But you can just see the headlights on his vehicle compared to the newer vehicles and how much shorter of a distance that his headlights have. It's dark, highway speeds. He's so close to cars. You just hope that there's not going to be an accident.
Yeah, it's true. You know, we're talking about all the different methods that the CHP can use to get this person. Obviously, on the highway, it's a little more dangerous and it's a little more difficult to do than surface streets because of the high speeds. And, you know, obviously it's a little bit more difficult because there aren't places where officers can set up and hide, for example, when they throw out some spike strips. But we have seen them do it before. So, you know, we're not going to put it past them that they're going to try something up here at some point. But We know that when they do deploy the spike strips, you know, it does take some time. They have to get really ahead of this person and anticipate maybe which lane they're going to be in even, you know,
Right.
and that would be
It's
such
tough.
a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, because he's been all over the place. He's been in the HOV lanes to the left, all the way over to the right. Also looking like he was going to exit at one point in time. Des, he's in the left-hand lane now. He's pretty squirrely going from left to right, kind of taking over the whole I-5 northbound lanes on this little stretch here.
Yeah, absolutely. And CHP actually did have some spikes back there. You know, while as you guys were talking, there were two different units there that had spike strips, but they just were not able to line it up. One of them was on the right-hand shoulder, and then the other was in the center divider at the 710. And the suspect was in neither of the locations where they could take advantage of using those spikes. So they are trying out here, but it's just going to be very difficult when you have someone going this quickly and they're not just staying to one lane. They're going, you know, wherever they feel like going, very, you know, kind of randomly. As we come back to the Eastdale interchange, and it looks like we're going to be going, I think we're going to be going, for the northbound 5. So this is where the 5 goes down to 2 lanes briefly and is going to join with the 10 freeway as they come together for the same road for just about a half mile or so. So here you see him sticking with it, getting through that narrow section. You know, you would have hoped that maybe if CHP could have shut traffic down in this area where there's only 2 lanes, it could have been, you know, potentially a good place to do some spike strips. It just takes so much coordination.
Sure.
And when someone's, you know, going this quickly and you're not certain what they're going to do next, you don't get a ton of time. Okay, now we're getting off the freeway again. So we'll see what happens here as we get into Boyle Heights, taking the 7th Street exit here.
So this is kind of what he did earlier when he was on the 5, where he took the HOV lane. Oh, I think he hits. I think he hit the curb. He's losing. He's losing a little bit of control.
Yeah.
Going too fast.
Take it from here, Des, because he is. Where's he getting onto now?
So dark.
Yeah, he's coming down onto surface streets here on this lengthy ramp that bends around here, kind of a cloverleaf ramp, but now onto 7th Street, I believe. Took that turn just a little bit too quickly and, you know, made some contact with the wheels against the pavement there. So you saw a couple of spikes come out. We'll see if that did any damage. You know what? Oh, it almost looks like that tire might be damaged. The driver, I can't quite tell. But we'll see if any damage has been done. I think so. I think,
He's
that
slowing
tire's
down.
flat
He's
right
slowing
there.
down.
He has his hazards on now.
He
might
be
be
look at
giving
this.
up.
And there's
He's got
2
his hand
people
out
in the
the
car.
window.
Oh, 2 people.
Yeah, yep.
It's funny how he threw the hazards
and there are 2
on.
people. We thought, yeah, kind of funny.
Yeah, okay, so, you know.
But, so there's the passenger. Go ahead.
You know, officers usually want you to stay in the car and not come
Well.
out. You know, they're screaming all kinds of things at you right now, obviously,
Yeah.
but they want you to stay in the car and throw your hands out the window first. Obviously, they're going to take care of the passenger here first, looks like.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's interesting how they were able to find a spot to do this, and thankfully so.
Yeah.
And you do see that left front tire there. It looks like it might be down to just the rim. As we see, this looks like a younger man to me that is walking back, and of course he's going to be directed to get down on his knees, spread eagle on the ground, kiss the asphalt, kiss the pavement, and then police will come up on him. He's got to make sure and show them that he has no weapons in his waistband. So he is complying. He looks like a younger, he almost looks like a teenager to me, don't you think?
He does.
And we haven't seen the driver yet, but the driver, of course, they're focused on him as well. Both hands are out. They will typically tell him to throw the car keys out. You see here, CHP taking this young man into custody at this point in time, and Susie, those other officers have their weapons trained on the driver.
That's right. It looks like this first suspect, he's saying something with the officers, exchanging some words. I don't know what he's saying, but he's telling them something. And it didn't look like it was in a nice way either. Now, like as Jeff was mentioning, the guns are trained now on the driver of this vehicle that we believe is stolen. That was the want, but not the original want, as we learned that this person was in some sort of hit-and-run accident that didn't cause any injuries, but they were running from that. And then we later learned that the car was actually stolen. So it looks like he's throwing
He's
his...
trying to put it in park, I think. So, Des, it looks to me like the left front tire is flat.
Yeah, and I think it made contact. You saw those sparks that came out when he was making that turn at the
These are
7th Street
kids.
exit there. Took it too quickly.
Yeah, these are
And,
teenagers.
yeah, this does look like
I mean,
another...
this could be a
Yeah,
15-year-old.
it does look like another young person. Yeah. I don't know, Jeff. I got to tell you, the older we get, the younger everybody
Yeah,
else
that's
looks.
true.
So I'm not certain just how,
Everybody looked young
just
to me
how
these
old
days.
the person is, but yeah, definitely. But that's it. It looks like that's what happened is they took that that exit there a little bit too quickly and went up on the curb, and that basically, he ended up taking himself out. CHP was out there with all those spike strips, and the suspect ended up doing themselves their own tires in. Fortunately, bringing this one to an end, and with all that crazy driving, didn't see any collisions. So the joyriding is over. And we're actually hearing there may even be one more person in this vehicle.
I was wondering about that. Yeah.
So this explains a lot. When you see the age of these drivers and you see the way that they were driving and taking the risks that they do, this is this explains a lot as to who was behind the wheel. This is a smaller truck too, and I see some activity, Des.
Looks like
so I think you're right.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, you just think how terrifying this would have been. Okay, looks like a lady friend here that they had in the back of the extended cab, and so she's coming out and complying as well. But I mean, you must think how terrifying, how chaotic it probably was in that vehicle while all this was going on, especially while they were in the Angel Stadium parking lot going around. I mean, I could just imagine all the commotion that was going on.
My goodness.
You would hope that they would just all be telling this person to come to their senses. There may even be another person in the back of this vehicle, so we might be into a full-blown clown car situation here.
For sure.
In Boyle Heights.
There's no way to look inside of this camper top, and I wonder how they go about getting in there, Susie. I mean, obviously, if you have it, I see. Well, there is that little extended cab in the back, so there is a little mini seat back there. So, okay, so we're up to is that 4?
Passenger side. That makes 4.
Could there be 5?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. If
4 seems like
there's
a lot.
anyone in the back of that camper, but yeah, 4. I mean, in the back, it definitely must have been awfully cramped back there. So, 2 guys, 2 gals here, and so that's going to be 4 that are surrendering. And kind of ironically, it's actually CHP's fixed wing plane, which was alerting them to the movement. They must have been seeing it on their infrared system because no one knew how many people were inside of this vehicle. Least of all us. I would never have guessed that there were 4 people inside of this little truck right now. But there's 4. We'll see if a 5th. And yet another person. A 5th person in
I have
there.
never seen anything
like that.
So
this was really, really crowded in there.
Wow.
There are 5 so far. They all appear to be teenagers to me. And we have 5 people in this small-sized pickup truck. Who knows how many people are in the camper shell?
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you just wonder if this was some sort of planned thing by these 5 teens. I call them teens. They could just be young adults. They could be in their 20s, but they all look young to me. And they're all wearing hoodies, and police officers obviously making them show their waistbands to make sure that there's no weapons. I'm sure they're communicating with them. Sure. But this story tonight, Susie, is how many people are in the truck?
Are in this truck that we know is stolen. And you just wonder, as Desmond was talking about, the conversations that were had in this truck during this entire pursuit, which is for about an hour and almost a half now. And the number of people coming out of this car, as Desmond was saying, just someone, looks like they still have their guns trained there. Looks like they're approaching the car now. So maybe they're just doing one final check here. Looks like they're going to approach the vehicle very carefully as they're stacked behind each other with their guns trained. Just making sure they're going to clear the car real quick, make sure there's no one else in there, and looks like it's all clear. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, that infrared, you talk about that, Des, and they were able to see that there were multiple people in there. I'd love to see that in action because that was a real game changer compared to, when it comes to not having that and just thinking that you have one suspect in the vehicle. Tonight we see 5 suspects come out of this truck.
Wow, so 5 arrests made after a pursuit that took us all the way from Ventura County down to Orange County and all the way back up to LA County. It ends here, finally, with 5 people under arrest.
All right, Des, thank you so much. From Sky 9, let's go to some breaking news. More breaking news. New video just released of an armed suspect and a shooting outside